I think the next thing you're going to see is pretty cool. So I turned the page, and it was a newspaper obituary about my great-grandfather who had died from suicide. And Henry Louis Gates goes, "What does it say?" And I said, "Oh, exactly that." I go, my great-grandfather, it seems he died by suicide. And Henry Louis Gates, to his credit, just looked at me and said, "That's a mistake. I apologize. We're going to edit this out." And then he said, "Why don't you turn another page?" So I turned another page, and I'm like, "Oh, my grandfather was in a school play." And he said, "Pretty cool, right?" And I was like, "Henry, you can't bounce back from accidentally showing someone a suicide obituary. That would be like if a magician was like, 'Is this your card?' And you're like, 'No, I think that's a picture of your dick.' 'Oh, fuck, shit. Is this your card? 9 of spades, is this your card? You're still thinking about the dick pic? Yeah! Yeah, dude. This is the time of the night where a lot of comedians will start doing their anti-trans material. I'm happy to inform you, I have no anti-trans material. I have nothing but love and respect for the trans community. And also, I'm always so frustrated when people frame it as how it's inconvenient to them when someone transitions, when they talk about how they have to learn a new name or a new pronoun, or they have to change a contact in their email address folder. And really, if we're being honest, let's be honest for a second. What would actually be harder for you? If someone in your life decided they were transitioning to a new gender, or if someone in your life decided that as of tomorrow, they were going to be a vegan. Like, what makes your life harder tomorrow? Because, you guys, 5 years ago, my brother decided to be a vegan, and I've spent multiple Thanksgivings with him, and I 100% would prefer my next Thanksgiving start with my dad walking in and saying, "I'm a lady now," than I would spending another Thanksgiving where my brother keeps asking me, "Is there butter in this?" I'm like, "There's fucking butter in everything." That is the true meaning of Thanksgiving, is butter in everything. That's how the first Thanksgiving started. The indigenous people came over. They were like, "This is maize." And the pilgrims said, "What if we put butter on it and call it corn?" And the indigenous people were like, "Oh my God, this is so much better. How can we ever repay you?" And the pilgrims were like, "We have an idea, but we're not going to tell you yet." White man. My brother, who's hardcore, my brother will not eat honey. My brother said that vegans who eat honey are called begans. I found out he didn't eat honey because one day he was over at my apartment and I just sort of threw a granola bar at him because he looked like he was starving. And he picked it up and he just started reading the label. If there was a logo for veganism, it should be someone at your home reading a label. Found a problem. By the way, I wish I could be a vegan. Every argument for being a vegan is a good one. It's better for the environment. It's more humane. The best argument, though, is this, you guys. My brother looks so much healthier than I do. Like, if you saw a picture of my brother and I next to each other, you would stop eating meat yesterday. Like, he glows like the sun, and next to him, I look like a guy holding a lantern at the bow of a ferry. I'm like... The fog is thick, but we'll make it through. I mentioned my in-laws earlier, and I want to give pay a little special attention to my wonderful mother-in-law. I really do have the greatest mother-in-law in the world. And my favorite thing about her is there are also times that she agrees with me that my wife is being a lot. Sometimes my wife and I will be fighting in front of my mother-in-law, and she will just make eye contact with me from across the room as if to say, sorry. But it has to be nonverbal. It is only of value to me if it is a nonverbal acknowledgement of my wife's behavior. If she actually speaks up in my defense, that's a disaster for me. Because every married person here knows that it's always just easiest to agree with your spouse when they're complaining about something. And I cannot tell you how many times it's been the end of the night and we're getting ready for bed, and my wife will say, can you believe my mom says I have to be nicer to you? And my only response is, yeah, what a bitch. Mind your own business, lady. I do have a mean wife. You guys. But only to me. My wife is mean to me, and she is so nice to the kids, and that is so much better than the other way around. If my wife was nice to me but mean to the kids, my life would be a nightmare. I would come home and they'd always run over and be like, hey man, you gotta step in and do something. We're your kids too. And I'd be like, shh, don't talk to me. I don't want her to know we're friends. By the way, this is not an attack on my wife. This is a defense of her meanness. My wife works so hard. She has 3 children. She is so depleted. She has a full-time job. My wife is a lawyer. My wife passed the New York bar. She is a brilliant woman. The New York bar, that's the hardest one. That's the one Giuliani passed. So I get it. She is tired all the time, and she's so patient with her children, and sometimes she has to take it out on me, and also, I deserve it, you guys. I am so irritated. Here are some of the things I do. Here are some of the things I do that earn her meanness. We're on our 3rd kid. I still don't know how to collapse the stroller. No idea. I look at a stroller the way a dog would if you told him to do origami. I have no idea how to fold up the stroller. I'll just like wiggle it. I'll shake it a little bit. Hey, quick question for the women here. Have you ever, while watching your husband try to collapse the stroller, thought to yourself, I can't believe I ever thought this man could satisfy me sexually? Like, well, he's like, I think I got it. I almost got it. And you're like, there's a button. It's like, no, I think it's almost there. Just a few more pumps. You want to hear something heartbreaking? The first time my wife heard me tell that joke, hardest she's ever laughed. She laughed a hurtful amount. She screamed from the audience, amen, brother! Preach! That's not to say my wife is perfect. There are a few things I would change about her as well. If I could change something about my wife, I would try to improve her skills as a directional speaker. My wife says important things to me all the time with her back to me while she's walking out of the room without raising her voice at all. She'll say things like, the gas company was here today. They say there's a toxic... So we have this fight all the time where she'll be like, remember, we're having dinner with the Harrises in an hour. And I'm like, when did you tell me that? And she's like, Monday when I whispered it into the mailbox. Another thing I would change about my wife is her caffeinated beverage of choice. My wife's caffeinated beverage of choice is a matcha latte. If you don't know what that is, I'll tell you what it's not. Available at the coffee place you were going to. It's such a rude thing to ask for when someone's like, we're getting coffee, what do you want? It would be like if you're like, hey, we're ordering pizza, can we get you anything? A quiche Lorraine. They're not gonna have that. It doesn't hurt to ask. It does hurt to ask. I don't want to look like a lunatic. I think my wife likes matcha lattes because they are hard to get. And the reason I say that is my wife's love language is acts of service. Do you guys know the concept of love languages? Here's the concept of love languages for those of you who don't know. There are 5 love languages. This is how people receive love. There's acts of service, touch, quality time, gifts, and words of encouragement. And guys, I don't know who came up with this list. All I know is that their love language is definitely acts of service. Because this is the biggest scam ever, that acts of service is lumped on this list with the other 4 reasonable things. Here's life if your love language is touch and your wife is acts of service. When I get home, I would like a hug. I need you to fix the boiler. Quality time. Want to go for a walk? Yeah, after you clean out the gutters. It's like if an airline's loyalty program was like, we have gold, platinum, silver, and when we land, you clean the plane.